Hey, true crime fans. I'm Amanda.
And I'm her mom, Pam.
And we are inviting you to listen to our podcast, Enmeshed. We dive deep to give you fresh takes on stale relationships.
Join us every Monday for an audio journey covering the darker side of family dynamics.
Our episodes are around 30 minutes.
We get right into it.
We will guide you through intriguing, lesser-known cases
and famous crime stories
involving murder, deceit, and the entangled family members who commit these crimes together
or against each other.
Check us out wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
And remember, some of the most poisonous people come disguised as family.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Crimes, Killers, Cults,
and Beer.
And beer. Just two crazy Florida men drinking beer and talking about true crime. Because if we weren't doing this, he'd be playing a video game and I would probably be out at a karaoke bar.
He's right.
Or something like that. So I got to do better than that. I got to do better. Like on the last episode, I said I need to just come up with a list. I need to put a bunch of words together, in columns, and just Mad Lib it.
There you go. That'd be good.
Yeah. Oh man. That's Todd.
And that is Bill.
And what are you drinking?
Believe it or not, I'm drinking beer. I'm Bud Light.
Wow. Holy crap.
Yeah. Well, you know.
In a dark blue sippy can.
In a dark blue sippy can, yeah.
I'm drinking Bud Light in a dark brown sippy bottle.
In a dark brown sippy bottle.
Papa.
Oh.
Baba.
Baba.
Got my baba. Oh. Don't really have any ado. I wish I did, but it's not like I do. Ado's fun.
I don't have any ado either, as usual.
So, let me think.
All right, think.
Do I have any ado? A mutual friend is coming over tomorrow, and we're going to record a song.
Oh, yeah?
We're going to write one. We're going to come up with a brand new one. And he's planning on being here about 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, and, lucky you.
Yeah. I'm glad this is, I hope he's not expecting me to sing that early. But.
Is that mutual friend a singer?
Yes.
Okay, then I know who it is.
And it's somebody that's on another song of mine, too.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Yeah. The Angel in Front of Me song. That song has some of my best guitar work, hands down, in it. Have you listened to that one?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you should listen to that one. It's
all right, I will, but it's like, and everybody asks me, do you like this song? Do you like that song? I'm like, dude, I don't even know the name of that song.
It's Angel in Front of Me. Yeah. And on Spotify, it says Bill Selby featuring Mike Dirks.
Right on.
So it's going to be hard to miss.
Well, I wasn't really meaning you so much as just I put music on at work, but I don't really listen to it because I just don't care.
Well, you need to sit down and listen to that one because the fucking guitar work in that one is damn.
All right. I'll give it a listen.
The song is written about a man who becomes obsessed with a stripper. And
everybody.
and winds up and stalks her and winds up getting like arrested.
Okay, so not everybody.
Yeah.
Partially everybody.
But no, it's a really good song.
I mean, come on, who hasn't been obsessed with a stripper at least once in their life?
I was married to one.
Yeah. I never was married to one, but...
And because of her shenanigans, I wound up being MO'd by a fucking serial killer.
That's right. I forgot about that. Oh, fuck. Here we go.
All right, enough ado. Let's get into this one. This is going to be a fun one. I mean,
all right.
A crazy one. So we're covering Gary Tison and Randy Greenwaldt, and they're...
Wait. Another Gary?
Yeah, another Gary.
That's like 2 in a row. Who's next? Gary Ridgway?
I don't think we're going to cover Gary Ridgway anytime soon. That would be a multi-part episode. And we're still trying to interpret the results from the 3-part on Panzram.
We're still recovering from that one.
Yeah. And I study the stats and everything. And so I'm like kind of watching that one, it being our first 3-parter. And I've noticed something interesting about it. One thing that I've noticed about all of our 2-part episodes is like the second part doesn't get as many listens as the first part, which is I've never understood that, and I never will, because you're going to listen to the first part, but you're not going to listen to the ending. I don't understand. It does not compute.
Maybe they didn't like the first part. I don't know. What the hell do I know?
But then, so we do this 3-part, and now part 1 and part 3 are getting well received, and people are skipping part 2.
Skip to the end. The part's boring. Just skip to the end.
I kind of want to see about how it pans out before before we go do another 3-part episode. I just want to see what the stats look like after like a month or so before we go do another 3-part. And when we redo BTK, that probably will be a 3-part.
Okay. Does it have to be?
Well, maybe. I mean, maybe.
Maybe. I'm joking with you, man.
I think we can get it done with too long, I think we can get it done with 2 long episodes.
Well, let's make it 3 parts then. Even I start losing interest if it gets too long.
Yeah, but Ridgway would definitely be a 3-part episode. Definitely.
Well,
yeah. I got to come up with another Gary. We could have a full month of Gary.
Yeah.
Or 2 more Garys.
You need 2 more.
Yeah, unless you do a 2-part, but I don't want to do a 2-part right now. But that would, if I did a 2-part, that would only be 1 Gary though. So
yeah, it would still be only 1 Gary.
Yeah, so I need to come up with 2 more Garys.
Yes.
So all right. Hashtag, but I digress.
We haven't even started this motherfucker
yet. Yeah. So we're covering Gary Tison and Randy Greenwaldt. And this case is crazy. It has the feel of like one of those old Western, Wild Wild West shootout movies and stuff like that. Prison Break, Prison Tender. It has, it's got it all.
All right.
So Gary Tison and Randy Greenwaldt were serving prison sentences in Arizona in 1978. Tison's 3 sons broke the pair out of prison, and then they went on a murderous rampage after breaking out, with their sights set on fleeing the U.S. and getting to Mexico.
Okay.
They didn't make it.
Well, yeah, that shit doesn't work anyway, but all right.
No, because we let people in, but Mexico does not.
Yes, very true. Yes, gone are the days when you could kill somebody and then run to Mexico.
Yeah. So they did, however, set the stage for a stereotypical backwoods inbred criminal movie Which there was, by the way.
Oh, sure.
In 1983, there was a TV movie made about this story called A Killer in the Family. And in 2017, a movie was made called Last Rampage, which I watched. But it's every movie like that. I mean, it's every single one of them. But in Last Rampage, I mean, all it really does is cover it starts at the prison break.
Mm-hmm.
But
not why they got in there.
Right. And no backstory or anything like that. It just starts there. But they followed the story very well in that movie.
Cool.
And I didn't know that's how I found out about this story. What had happened was I had sat down to write the notes for BTK, and I'm like, I don't feel like doing this. Good,
because I wouldn't have felt like recording it either, so.
But so I'm like, I'm like, okay, let's find a movie to watch. So I'm like scrolling through Amazon or Netflix. I don't remember. I think the movie's on Amazon, but and I'm like, Last Rampage. What's this? So I read it, and based on true events, prison break. Well, let's check this out. And I watched it. I'm like, is this real? So in doing it, I'm like, I looked it up. I was just like, there's a lot of information here. So I'm like, fuck yeah, we're doing it. But as I'm doing the notes and everything, they pretty much covered it pretty spot on accurate, which is crazy for a Hollywood movie.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they never do that shit.
No. So, but put a knife in that because we're going back to the beginning.
Okay.
There's not really a lot of information available about their early life, but there is some. There's more about Gary than there was about Randy. But yeah, found some. Had to piece this episode together like a patchwork quilt. And there are only about three other podcast episodes about these chuckleheads.
Yeah.
Which, good find. I love stuff like that, like RG Stare. Yeah. RG Stare. That was a diamond in the rough.
I know. Every time I think of one, you're like, dude, everybody's done that one. I'm like, all right, let me try to find something else. No, this one sounds good, dude. That's been done to death. Everybody.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Well, we joke about it, but that's why we say that Dahmer is going to be episode 500.
Yeah.
And
Hopefully we make it.
The only reason we're redoing BTK is because our first attempt at it sucked.
It was rough.
It was horrible. God, I'm afraid to listen to it. I won't listen to it.
Me neither.
But just
I'm taking our advice and not listening to it.
Exactly. So just bear with us for a few more weeks and we'll have BTK done right.
Hopefully.
Well, might be a little bit longer than that. It just depends. So we are going to do it
eventually,
but sooner rather than eventually.
Not if I have anything to do with it.
The next month or two.
No, just because you asked a guy to do something doesn't mean you have to remind him every 6 months.
But sources are the Arizona Republic, the Arizona Daily Star, Wiki, and I found a Facebook page that had a lot in it. It's called True Crime in Phoenix, and that what I found there dealt with a lot of their the backstories, which was really cool. I was like, hell yeah. So Gary Tison was born October 25th, 1935 in Oklahoma during the Great Depression. When he was 2, his father, Reuben, was sent to prison for a string of armed robberies.
Robberies.
He was released in 1939, and in 1940 the family had moved to Casa Grande, Arizona. And they moved around a lot, and they were very poor, and Gary was picked on relentlessly in school, so he learned how to fight. And he was suspended multiple times, and at 12 years old, Gary ran away to his aunt's house after butting heads with his father. Yeah, he came back a few months later, but nothing changed, and Gary dropped out of school in the 10th grade when he was kicked off the fuckball team.
Wow.
That's gotta be the worst one yet.
Wow.
God.
Oh my.
You better get your notebook out. That was a classic.
Dude, that was I don't even know what happened there. You didn't even make up a word. You were stuck. Oh my goodness. You never get stuck like that. That was wow. Anyway.
And I was really smooth up until that point. God damn, here we go.
It's all over now.
Get your notebook out.
It's all over now. It's all, yeah. And we're not even 10 minutes in.
Could have worked it out somehow, but it's over now.
Stop it. You're just dying to get his copyright struck, man.
Not for singing it.
Well, it is what it is.
So, he was kicked off the football team for unnecessary roughness.
Are they sure it was unnecessary? Because a lot of times it is necessary. Just saying.
Yeah, it's fuckball.
Yeah. Shit. Fuck. Fuckball. Oh, all right.
Just when you think I can't,
right?
Jesus. I don't know.
All right. Anyway, moving on.
I just came up with a name for your book.
All right.
Fuckball. An exhaustive dictionary of Billisms.
Yeah, that'll work.
That's the best one yet. Fuckball.
Fuckball, yeah. And you couldn't even get that out. You were struggling with that. Oh, Jesus. Anyway.
So, at that time, Gary began robbing. And at 15 years old, he robbed a grocery store and he was sentenced to 6 months probation. So now for the hard stuff. And on September 10th of 1954, Gary and another teenage nitwit named Earl Leroy robbed a grocery store in Mammoth, Arizona. They were arrested shortly later in Winkleman, Arizona.
Shortly later, there it is.
and they were wanted in California for auto theft as well. As well as an armed robbery in Arvin, California, near Bakersfield. And I delivered to a distribution center near Arvin several times.
Of course you did.
They stole $39, a pistol, and a tank of gas from a gas station.
Okay. I mean, okay. Yeah.
It doesn't say if the gas station had pistols for sale or if maybe they just stole it from the clerk.
Where was this again? Arizona?
In the 50s, they might have been selling pistols.
They could have been. That's what I was just going to say. They could very easily have been. In Arizona, yeah, no doubt.
So they oh wait, no, this is oh okay, this is Winkleman, Arizona. But they were sent back to California, and then they stole a car to drive back to Arizona, and I'm assuming that the tank of gas went into the car that they stole to get back to Arizona.
I would imagine.
But they were spotted, and they led the police on a high-speed chase. And they crashed the car, and they were sent back to California to stand trial there. And they were sentenced to 7 to 15 years. And okay. Gary served 7 years and got paroled in 1961. And this is where Gary and Earl would part ways, but don't worry, Gary finds another partner in crime.
Of course he does.
Gary's mother had moved to Casa Grande to be closer to her good boys.
To the good ones. Jesus.
No, she was calling, Gary good. Gary's a good boy, but
gotcha.
Gary was paroled because Mama had written a letter to the prison board begging for their release due to hardships, and it worked, and I don't think I've ever heard of that happening before.
No, not really.
I'm Gary's mother, and it's just really hard living without him.
Yeah, we need his mobberies to pay our rent.
Before he was paroled, a young woman named Dorothy swiped right on prison Tinder.
Before it was even prison Tinder.
And love, true love, was in the air.
Oh, of course.
And they were married in prison in 1957, 4 years before Gare Bear was released.
Wow. All right.
And at that time, he didn't even know that he was going to be released early. So there must have been something powerful in Mama's letter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And the letter included a reel-to-reel tape that Mama had recorded, and it said, "I don't want to wait for Gary's life to be over. He needs to be with his wife, Dorothy."
Stop. Just stop.
Well, apparently, I think we're about to find out. I think Gary may have been very well endowed.
Oh.
Because when they got married in prison, 4 years before he was actually released, Dorothy was 7 months pregnant with their first son, Donald.
Okay.
So he was born January 1st of 1958, and Ricky was born in 1959. Ray was born in 1960. All before Gare Bear got out of prison. Yeah.
Oh, conjugal visits and all. That could happen.
Yeah. Gary wasn't able to find work because he was a dick and he didn't like being told what to do.
Because he was a dick. I love it.
March 1st, 1961, Gary, 25 years old now, hooked up with Lester Jennings, who was 22, and Douglas Smith, who was 23. And they broke into the Casa Grande National Guard Armory, and there they scored 10 .30 caliber carbines and 5 .45 caliber submachine guns, along with 4 cases of ammo.
All right.
And I have questions.
All right.
Like, how in the hell were they able to pull that off? But yeah, it's a National Guard thing. You would think that even though National Guard is like temporary, you would think that that they'd at least have a security guard on duty.
I don't know. Maybe they just like, hey, maybe. I don't know. I had a thought going and I just lost it. So
this is 1961 in Casa Grande, Arizona. We don't have that kind of bold criminals yet that would try to break into an armory.
Yeah, that's actually kind of where I was going. So yeah, thanks for finishing my thought. I appreciate it.
We share a brain.
Bill got the good half.
I got. Fuck off, man. I was about to say, I got the upside, you got the downside.
See? We do share a brain.
And I managed to squeeze in a Spaceball reference.
Yes, you did.
So, but like the experts like the weapons experts that they were, they didn't get the firing pins for the carbines and the extractors for the machine guns. So the carbines were useless, and the machine guns were only capable of one shot without the extractors.
See, that's why they didn't have a guard, because they knew the guns didn't work.
Yeah, right? Now, a carbine is similar to a rifle, but with a shorter barrel, and they're easier to handle than regular rifles because they're smaller and they weigh less. So they're typically issued to, like special operations soldiers or paratroopers because of how much they have to move around and how much gear that they have to carry with them.
Mm-hmm.
The M4 is the model that's used in the military today as far as a carbine is concerned.
Yeah.
So that's what I used Wiki on.
You wicked guns. Oh my God.
I know I'm on a list.
Dude. Yeah, you probably are.
Well, I didn't know what a carbine was, so I had to look it up. And I figured,
Well, you could ask me. I know it's a rifle.
Well, I knew it was a rifle, but I didn't know what I wanted to know more about it.
Oh, all right.
Would you like to know more? Yes. So they had planned to sell the weapons, so obviously they weren't able to do anything with them. But the heist was a federal offense that brought in the FBI, so put a knife in that.
Oh shit! Hold on. Where's my knife? There it is.
What I find funny is the fact that both Jennings and Smith were members of the National Guard, and they didn't know that the guns didn't have.
Oh, so it's an inside job?
Yeah, they didn't know that they had, that they didn't have all the components for these guns.
Wow, it was an inside job, and they fucked it up.
Yeah, I'm picturing like an alternate universe Gomer Pyle. Well, gosh darn, I just don't know why this machine gun is only shooting one bullet at a time.
Right? Oh, man. Yeah, you think if they were in the National Guard, they would know that. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Or maybe they don't. Maybe the real Army didn't trust the National Guard enough to give them working guns.
Or maybe they were just, I don't know.
They could have been training weapons or something,
Well, they could have been artillery.
Well,
it didn't say. I'm betting that's what it was. Because if they were to be like, hey, we're missing a couple pieces here. So I'm betting they were like field artillery or something like that. But I'd rather the fact that I'd rather think of it as they were actually using those weapons and didn't know. That's how I'm gonna look at it.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So in 1961 April, Gary went on a run of mobberies. He hit an insurance company,
fucking mobberies,
a used car store, 2 grocery stores, and Gary had maybe rigged up a makeshift extractor for the machine gun, or he managed to somehow get one because he was nicknamed the Machine Gun Bandit.
Okay. Do we know that he managed to do this, or did he just have the gun as a intimidation?
Well,
did he ever fire it?
Well, he never fired it. It doesn't say if he fired it or not. And I'm thinking he just went in and pointed the useless gun at him and never had to fire a shot.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because you're not just going to make an extractor unless you have like one of those.
You have gunsmithing skills, which would have told you in the first place that shit was missing when you stole it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh God, dude, this is like a bad movie.
Exactly.
It's like one of those movies, it's like a J.J. Abrams movie where this will be cool, but that doesn't make any sense. Who cares? It's going to have lens flares and explosions. It'll be awesome.
Oh yeah, and it's in Arizona, so it's definitely going to have the lens flare because of how the sun there.
Right.
So Tison was arrested trying to steal a car, and he ratted out Jennings. Jennings was arrested the next day, and then both Tison and Jennings ratted out Smith, who was already in jail on a traffic charge, which I'm guessing was probably a DUI.
How do you rat out somebody who's already in jail?
He wasn't in jail for that. He was in jail for a traffic offense. And the only thing they were going to arrest you for back then would be a DUI. If it was car theft, it would have said car theft. It just said a traffic violation, a traffic charge. He was arrested.
He could have run a stop sign, or
they're not going to throw you in jail for that.
Well, you never know.
But
yeah, probably not. But you know what I mean.
It's probably a DUI. But in September of 1961, Gary escaped from jail, and he was arrested a couple hours later at a movie theater.
Okay.
So I'm guessing that he drew attention to himself, maybe?
Was he doing a Pee Wee Herman?
No, but movie theaters are dark, so he had to have been drawing attention to himself. You know,
well, the inside of him's dark. The outside, I don't know. Maybe somebody recognized him.
Well, it's like pissing people off. So, West Side Story was in the movie theaters then. I looked it up.
Okay.
So was 101 Dalmatians. The Guns of Navarone.
Oh, that's a good one.
It is. The Hustler.
That's an even better one.
Yeah, that's a really good one. The Misfits.
The band?
No, there's a band called The Misfits, and I looked it up, and I was initially going to, assume that he was watching The Misfits, but when I read it, I'm like, nah, I don't think he'd be watching The Misfits. What I read about that movie why was it called The Misfits? It just didn't really fit. I don't remember what it was about, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Gone with the Wind was in theaters then too.
Again?
Again? 1961.
Yeah. Gone with the Wind came out in the 30s, dude.
The colorized version.
That's what I said. It's in the theaters again.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was originally released, and so it was a remake. The one that came out in the 60s was a remake, then, right?
I don't know.
The
only one I know of is the one with Judy Garland.
Yeah, but she's not. She would have been 30 in 1930 if that movie came out in
Bill, they colorized the film and put the original film out in color. They didn't film it again.
Are you sure about that?
Hold on, I'm looking it up because now I gotta know.
Yeah, because those actors were young at the time that movie
Gone
came out.
with the Wind, right?
Yeah, Gone with the Wind.
1939.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, that's what it says.
So they colorized it and re-released it.
I'm assuming. Hold on, I'm getting there.
Okay. What was the last line of Gone with the Wind?
Tomorrow's another day, Scarlett.
You got it. A lot of people think that it was frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
But no.
Tomorrow's another day. Yeah.
Yep.
And the only reason I know that is because my mom used to say that shit all the time. To justify her procrastination, and then I started doing it to justify mine. I don't see any.
If I ever needed a reason to hate that movie,
don't hate the movie. Hate the player.
Hate the movie.
I don't see anything about a new version of the movie, so they had to have colorized it and re-released the original.
Okay, I thought that those actors were.
Assume.
I thought those actors. I thought the movie was released in the 60s. I don't know.
No, it's 39, dude. That's a great movie.
Did you see the sequel they made? That was pretty good too, with Timothy Dalton.
James Bond.
Yeah, one of the shitty James Bonds, but yeah.
No, he wasn't that bad.
No, he wasn't. But no, they made a sequel of it with Timothy Dalton, and it was actually pretty good.
Was it? No, I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah.
I'll have to look for that. I don't know.
It was good. It wasn't as good as the first one, but that's pretty common. But but it was good. I liked it. So Breakfast at Tiffany's was in the theaters as well. But I'm bet
not gonna do it.
Huh?
Said I'm not gonna do it.
What, are you gonna throw a challenge flag?
No. I was going to go, and I said, what about Breakfast at Tiffany's? You say, I kind of remember whatever, however that stupid song goes.
Like, okay, we're at each other's throats. But hey, We both like a movie. All right, let's get back together.
Yeah.
Although as a science
Why did you say that name?
as a science fiction fan, I don't think I've never dated a sci-fi fan. I've never dated a nerd. Just country girls that like me.
Never mind. I'm not going to go there.
And psychos.
Psychos. Yeah. You have all the fun, man.
Yeah. No. I must have really fucked somebody over bad in the previous life.
If you believe in that kind of thing. Yeah.
But I bet he was watching West Side Story. Gary's gonna have his way tonight.
Right? No shit.
He was annoying.
Dude, my mom has all those movies on like DVD, like, and dude, I sat down and started watching some of them because I'm like, dude, all these new movies nowadays freaking suck.
Yeah.
So I started watching some of them. I saw, what was the one with James Dean?
Oh, it's right.
It's the only movie he made before he got killed in the car crash. But anyway, not the point.
Yeah. It's right there. It's like right freaking there.
Was it Streetcar Named Desire?
James Dean?
No, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Anyway, whatever.
If only there was the handheld thing that we could use.
I know, right? That I'm picking up right now.
I got it. And we're both going to feel like morons when
I know, right? We totally are.
Because it's like a serious rebel without a cause.
Rebel without a cause. How did we not fucking get that? Fuck, we're idiots. Anyway, so I watched that for like the first time ever, and I'm like, dude, this is a fucking good movie.
And yeah, we're both like, what the, like, how the hell do we both not? I even said it. I'm like, we're both going to feel like idiots when I pull it up.
Oh yeah.
So, he was annoying everybody in the theater probably. You know, they didn't like his parody. And, so somebody called the police who showed up and realized who he was and told him that he was not, in fact, going to have his way tonight unless it was back to jail, unless that was his way.
Okay.
So in January of 1962, Gary was convicted of the armory heist and one of the grocery store holdups, and he was sentenced to 25 to 30 years. He was also diagnosed as a sociopath at that point. But in October of 1964, his sentence was reduced to 7 to 12 years. No word on if Mama wrote another letter, but Dorothy did.
It worked last time.
Yeah, Dorothy did. And in the letter was a reel-to-reel tape that she recorded. It said, "How do I live without Care Bear? I want to know. How do I breathe without Care Bear? Just please let him go."
You actually thought about that one, didn't you?
I did.
I could tell. That one was better than most of them. Anyway.
So Gary then robbed another grocery store because he was broke. And the owner felt sorry for him and dropped the charges. I mean, it's like, do you know who Care Bear is?
Care Bear. Oh,
do you know? It's like, do you know who this guy is? It's like, I don't know.
I don't know.
So, you know what? I don't know. Casa Grande's got like 20 people living in it. Well, it's got more than that, but still, you get my point. It's a tiny town, so it's going to get a word around that, you know, he likes movies about New York City gangs and likes to change lyrics and oh shit, am I Care Bear?
You could be.
So he then started smuggling tractors to Mexico.
Smuggling tractors to Mexico, okay.
Yeah. But
that's quite a leap from armed robbery and stuff.
Yeah, it's just like he just doesn't give a shit. He don't
Yeah,
care.
like who wakes up in the morning and goes, you know what? I'm going to smuggle tractors to Mexico today.
Yeah.
That's going to be my job.
Because they need tractors in Mexico.
Yeah, because apparently they can't get good tractors in Mexico, and I know a place right up the road. Smuggling tractors. What the fuck?
Now most of the tractors that we get in the United States are fucking made in Mexico.
Everything's, yeah, dude, everything. I mean, it's China and Mexico.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But that fell through though. But he kept the money from, his partner who got pissed off and turned him in.
You think?
So there's a lot of criminal backstabbing in this. This episode proves there's no honor among thieves.
Yes.
Because
if they made a movie of this, I picture fucking what's his name. Well, they would have had to make this movie like 10, 15 years ago for the people I'm picturing in it. But I totally see Steve Carell, because he would do that kind of dumb. He would play that dumb shit kind of guy perfectly.
No, I got a better one, and Gary actually looks like this actor. If you Google Gary Tison, Google Gary Tison images and tell me who he looks like.
Oh, hold on.
Because and that would be a perfect fit too, because that guy can play the dumbass hick as well.
Harry, well, not Harry.
Tison.
All right. If I could learn how to type, I'll get the movie.
No, just search, just click on images for Gary Tison.
Oh, all right. Hold on. Which one's him? Fuck me.
The one that looks like a famous actor.
Okay, I saw one, and it's Robert Patrick, right?
No.
That's the one I saw. That's what he looked like.
Pictures I saw of him looked like Woody Harrelson.
Okay, this one does, yeah.
Yeah. But he can totally...
That James Steiner guy looks like my old band teacher from high school. Oh, yeah, dude, he totally does look like...
Yeah, Woody. Woody
Yeah.
Harrelson. And Woody Harrelson could play that role very well, I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay, then the first picture I saw must have been somebody else or something.
It might have been from the movie. I think Robert Patrick played him in the movie. I think that's what that was.
Because, yeah, that's got to be it, because that is fucking Robert Patrick, I'm telling you right now. That's Robert Patrick. Well, you can't see it, but...
No, I can't. But...
All right. So, yeah, Woody Harrelson, but yeah, he does look like... They do look alike, so that would work.
Yeah. So, on September 18th, 1967, a prison guard named James Steiner... we were like right there. Was transporting Gary back from an appearance at the courthouse back to the jail. It was on the same property, but Dorothy tried to give him a kiss and everything, and Steiner just kind of shoved her away, and that pissed Gary pissed. That pissed him off. So they were in a pickup truck. It was just a normal pickup truck. Not a vehicle equipped with barriers between guards and inmates. So the regular prison, the paddy wagon was broken down, and it's suspected that Gary disabled that vehicle.
I don't know. Somebody steals guns that don't work. I don't know if he's smart enough to pull that off, but
well, you'll see, he is smart. He is, and you'll see that in some of the plans that he comes up with. But
smuggling tractors to Mexico, yeah.
But okay, that one maybe not so much.
Not so much.
But the thing with Dorothy, that happened before and everything, so he was already pissed off.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he could have broken off and just like went and just pulled a battery terminal off or something really quick or something like that. But they're like, oh fuck it, it's just across the complex and everything. We'll just use a pickup truck.
You pinky promised not to do anything, right?
the pinky promise transport system.
Oh sure, boss. I ain't gonna do nothing.
So his family had I'm just throwing this in here right now. His family had vivisected him in prison. Visited him in prison, like,
God.
constantly, like, all the time. They were always there. I'm just putting that out there. But whatever happened, Gary overpowered Steiner and got his weapon away from him, and they drove away. Once they were away from the prison, Gary shot Steiner 3 times in the chest, and then he dumped Steiner's body under a tree in Coolidge, Arizona, and then hauled ass. And now this was witnessed by a farmer named Richard Sanders, and Steiner had a wife and 4 kids.
Is that the Colonel's first name?
I'm not sure. I think it was.
No, his first name's Colonel. I don't know.
I spelled the wrong way though.
Yeah.
But
what's the matter, Sanders? Chicken?
Huh?
What's the matter, Sanders? Chicken?
Chicken? Later that day, a man named Wayne Parent called the prison saying that he had been robbed by a man driving a prison truck. He had been target shooting in the city dump in Casa Grande, and he was initially calling to complain, thinking that it was just a guy in the prison truck fucking with him.
Okay.
It's like, but Tison just came up and started bitching at him, and pretty ballsy to come up on a man who had a gun in his hand, but Tison had one too. So he pulled his and he stole Wayne's gun, and then
his was bigger.
Well, and then
my gun's bigger than your gun.
Nanny boo boo.
Now give me that little piece of shit, motherfucker. Sit your ass down.
So then the prison sounded the alarm about the escape, and because they didn't know about it yet. It's like, and that's another thing. He's had to have been gone for at least an hour at this point.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
And they knew he wasn't at the courthouse anymore or whatever.
And the courthouse was on the same property as the prison.
Yeah. How did
in a vehicle, it would take maybe 2 minutes tops, 3 minutes to drive there, even at like 20 miles an hour.
Yeah. How do you not know the motherfucker's missing? Is what I want to know.
I don't know. But I have
this must have been like a low security prison. Was this in Dallas?
No, this is in Arizona.
Close enough.
But I do. Yeah, you read my mind on that one, because later in the episode, I'm like, I think this warden. I wonder if this warden's last name was Darwin.
It's entirely possible.
Indeed.
Or it was his. Never mind.
And I thought about making a Dick Darwin for this one, but I didn't have enough time.
Well, we could have done it tomorrow, and you'd had enough time. Oh no, that's right. You're doing that. Never mind.
Yeah.
See how quickly I forget shit.
That's all right. Well, there'll be plenty of other episodes to put. I mean, this one's too obvious.
Yeah, it is.
So, and it'll be even more obvious as we get deeper into it. So,
all right.
So Tison told Wayne to just walk away, and he would let him go, but he was taking Wayne's car, and he was just going to ditch the pickup truck there. So Wayne walked away, but Tison didn't realize that Wayne still had his car keys on him, and he was gone. And apparently he didn't know how to hotwire.
But yeah, okay. Guy forgets that he needs to get the car keys. Doesn't know how to hotwire a car, and you think he disabled the paddy wagon?
All you have to do is pull a battery cable off. I'm just speculating. That this is what happened. I mean, no, but what some of the plans that he comes up with later, it just a light bulb goes off in his head later in the story, and he starts coming up with good plans for a while.
All right,
but the way the ending, I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but the ending is so satisfying.
Okay, well, let's get there, because I need to get back to my video game.
See what I have to deal with, people?
I can't help it. It's a good game. Well, If you believe the people on the internet, it's a shitty game, but I like it. I'm enjoying it. So there. Nah.
Okay. So later, Gary tried to jack another truck, and this time he succeeded, and he drove off into the desert and he hid for a while. But the next day, police located the second vehicle, but Gary had wandered off. Police dogs picked up the scent, but they lost it. Bloodhound.
Yeah, that happens.
So the next morning, Gary forced his way into the home of a woman north of Casa Grande, and he forced her to cook him breakfast, and he promised he wouldn't hurt her or her kids if she did what he said. And then he stole a gun from her and her car and drove off with a full stomach. And then the woman went to a neighbor's house and called the police.
Hell yeah.
An APB was put out on a stolen car, and it was spotted, and Gary drove into a random driveway and parked it and ran into the backyard to hide. Pacer marks the spot.
Yeah, right? Oh, boy.
Police quickly found him, and a shootout began, and Gary had stolen a cowboy hat, and one of the cops shot it right off of his head.
No.
That's what's in the notes.
Well, not only all right.
Which made Gary surrender. And when he was
no shit, because he was like that close to getting one through his brain pan.
Yeah.
I would have just, okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. My bad.
So he says, once he was in cuffs, he says, yeah, I done killed that guard. And I need a fresh pair of pants.
If you don't mind.
He didn't say the pants part, but he did admit to killing the guard, Steiner.
Yeah.
But police didn't know that Steiner was dead at this point.
Oh, Jesus. Really? You sure this ain't Dallas?
Well, nobody had found him. Well, the one guy did find him, but
damn,
I guess didn't report it.
Yeah.
So March 12th, 1968, Gary was tried for the escape and for murder, and he pleaded not guilty, but he was found guilty of kidnapping and murder and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, despite the defense attorney grasping at straws, saying that there was nothing but circumstantial evidence tying Gary to this case.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like, well, let's see. We've got this pickup truck with Gary's fingerprints on it. We've got this gun with Gary's fingerprints on it that killed Steiner.
And he fucking told us he did it.
And he told us, yeah.
What more do you want?
Circumstantial. I mean, there's no video evidence. This is 1968.
Yeah, right.
I swear that scene from one of the Austin Powers movies when they were just like, oh, this is 1993. We don't have that kind of money yet. It's like
Yeah.
that thought has crossed my mind several times in this one.
Yeah. Dr. Evil, this is 1969. That kind of money doesn't even exist.
Yet.
Oh, God, that's fucking hilarious. Anyway.
So Gary was initially there for a few years, and now after escaping and being on the run for 19 hours total, he was in prison for life. Dumbass!
Double dumbass on you.
Triple. Because this is going to blow your mind what's coming up next.
All right.
Gary tried to escape yet again. Listen carefully to what I say. He overpowered a guard, made him strip, and he stole his uniform.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tried to climb a wall while wearing a guard's uniform.
Okay.
Do guards usually climb walls?
Yeah, I know where you're going with this. No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's another. That one's right up there, just below tractor smuggling.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it seemed a bit daft of me to guard him when he's a guard.
Oh, dude, that's. Oh, God. I don't want to talk about it right now because I haven't got to that part in the game yet, but there's a part in the game that I saw somebody put up on YouTube that's just fucking hilarious.
But he learned from this stupid mistake, but put a knife in that.
Oh, Jesus. I'm running out of knives again, Bill. You got to stop this.
With a lot of knives on this one. A lot of guns, too.
You got to warn me when there's a lot of knives.
Okay.
I can pay attention.
But still, it's just like, yeah, if you got a prison uniform, just walk out of there like you're
walk out the
supposed to
fucking door.
Yeah. Don't try to climb it. I'm just testing the walls, make sure they're strong, guys. I'm good.
Yep, this wall's pretty unclimbable. It's nice and straight up and down.
Straight up and down. Dumbass. Oh, what an idiot.
Oh, this wall is just covered with gook. It's all Fetzer valves and ball bearings these days, guys. Come on.
Gary, Carl Panzram, you are not.
Oh, God. No, he isn't. Anyway. Yeah, dude, I mean, unless he was hoping that he could get over the wall before somebody saw him and just think he was a guard walking away because they know his face. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of why he would have done that and not done what you said, like just walk out the fucking door.
I think a guard climbing the wall is going to draw more attention than the guard walking out the door.
Well, yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I do. But I mean, I'm trying to think of it from his like he was. Yeah. Maybe he thought that if he tried to walk out the door, they would see his face and know it was him. So he thought if he could get over the wall fast enough, they would just see him walking away from the back and not recognize him.
Could be, but still, I don't know.
It's still stupid no matter what. So
yeah,
whatever he was thinking, it was a dumb fucking idea.
Yeah, but he does learn from this. But
well, there's that then.
He couldn't get out, and guards later found him hiding in the laundry room.
All right. Why do they always hide in the laundry room?
Maybe he read Panzram's book. I think it was out by that point.
Maybe it was just the first place he could find to hide.
Although, well, he did have a 10th grade education. He could. No, but Carl Panzram was a very smart man.
Oh yeah, I know.
But I don't know. But still, it's just a lot of the stuff that he does in this reminds me of Carl Panzram, except in Panzram's case, it worked. In Panzram's case, it worked. In his case, not so much.
Not so much. Did that not work for you?
Yeah. Carl Panzram would ass rape him and break his neck.
Anyway.
Later.
Shortly later or longly later?
Just later.
Just later? Okay, just plain later?
Just plain later. He fooled everybody by behaving, but he still got away with a lot and didn't get caught. Yeah, it's just like he kind of turned over a new leaf, kind of like what frickin' Panzram did, when he in the very first torture school that he was in.
Mm-hmm. For white boys.
But he was running drugs. He was funneling weapons in and out of the prison. He even put out a hit on another inmate. Never got caught.
All right.
So apparently this guy does have some brain, but he probably had an epiphany of just like, all right, I got to stop being stupid.
I'm not a smart man.
I am a smart man. And I need to start acting like it.
Jesus.
So,
anyway.
In 1977, he was moved to a minimum security wing of the prison after
Pinky promising he wouldn't escape.
Yeah, but after the what had happened was there was overcrowding. So the minimum security prison was the women's wing. So they basically let all the women go, and they moved the minimum security people over to what used to be the women's side.
Okay.
But he's in there for life. You know, people serving life are always going to be in maximum security.
If you say so.
Yeah. Because they're more likely to try to escape.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I have no idea.
Yeah, but no, if you're in there for life, you ain't going to minimum security. You're going to max.
No matter how good you are.
Yeah. I mean, you'll get more like friggin' Larry Hall. Like Larry Hall. I mean, that guy had all sorts of privileges and jobs and stuff.
Well,
but he was still in, Springfield mental, asylum.
He was still in the loony bin.
Yeah. I mean.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to hell. Bill, we got to hurry up and get this done because my appointment for the bus ride to hell is coming up.
You got a little ways to go.
I don't know if the bus will wait, bro, but all right, go ahead.
What bus are you talking about?
The bus that I got a reservation on to go to hell. I say we're going to hell. Well,
okay.
My ticket reservation finally came.
I thought you were about to dip on the episode. I'm like, really? That's a first. Well, it would be a second because you dipped out of the Gertrude Baniszewski episode.
Yeah, well, that one broke me. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. It fucking broke me.
No, it broke me too, but I powered through.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Because I had to. I'm the host.
I'm the plucky comic relief, so I could dip, but I tried to make it through it. I really did.
I'll tell you what, that topic, Gertrude Baniszewski and Sylvia Likens, I have listened to every podcast episode that comes out about that. Very few are as graphic and detailed as the one that we did.
There's probably a reason for it. But anyway, let's get back to our story because, clock's ticking, dude.
So, but like I said, like I said earlier, his wife and sons, they visited him frequently in prison, and now we're up to date on Gary. With Gary, we're right up to right before the prison break.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So now we're going to talk about Randy Greenwaldt. Forgot about him, didn't you?
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about Randy.
So Greenwald got moved to the minimum. Randy Greenwald also got moved to the minimum security wing at the same time that Gare Bear did, where Randy and Gary became friends immediately, and they began coming up with escape plans. So Randy Greenwald,
as you do,
yeah. So Randy Greenwald was born February 24th, 1949, in Hannibal, Missouri. So, Gary is considerably older than Randy, although in the pictures you wouldn't think that. Randy looks a hell of a lot older than Gare Bear.
The Gare Bear.
There's not much about his childhood available, but he was.
Thank God.
Yeah, but his backstory is only
because I don't want to sit here for another hour and a half.
Yeah, we're 10 pages in on, and it's been nothing but Gary and Gary's backstory. We haven't even gotten to the prison break yet. But his is short. So his is like 1 page. So Randy says. So there's not much, but he was in the Navy for a few years, and when he got out, he became a criminal.
Hey, why not?
And I would have been one of his targets. Okay. Because he liked to kill truck drivers.
Oh. Yep, you definitely would have been.
But what he does is comical. On June 15th, 1974, Randy and his 23-year-old brother James murdered a truck driver named Stanley Standage at a rest stop off of I-40 near the Meteor Crater tourist trap. He was asleep in the driver's seat of his truck, and they sneaked up, and Randy jumped up onto the side of the truck and used a marker and drew a target on the window with Stanley's head like in the center of it, and then jumped down and aimed and shot him. And that was his MO. He did that several times.
Okay.
The take, $42 in his credit card.
Ooh, that's definitely worth somebody's life.
Mm-hmm. The next day, the brothers and another man, 33-year-old George Sanders, were arrested in Tempe when they tried to purchase a stereo system with the stolen credit card. And I'm impressed with the police work in this, because you'd think that it wouldn't have been possible to do this back then.
Not that fast, anyway.
But police found the body quickly, and they found that his wallet had been opened and its contents were scattered throughout the cab. They figured that the murderers would have taken a credit card if he had one, so they contacted MasterCard and found out that Sanders did in fact have one. So they monitored it. I don't know how they monitored it, but
I know, right?
They did. Maybe, I don't know, maybe at the end of the day or whatever, they were called in. I don't know. I don't know how. I have no clue how they did this back then.
Yep, me neither.
But still, freaking. They had made multiple purchases on it, and they were able to track them down based on the purchases, and they nabbed them when they tried to buy the stereo. Yeah, like I said, I don't know how the hell this was possible in 1974, but whatever the case, bravo, police.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, fuck yeah. They were charged with first-degree murder, armed robbery, and burglary. In July 8th, 1974, Randy pleaded guilty to avoid a death sentence. And he got life with the possibility of parole after 25 years. And the reason for that plea deal was because Randy agreed to testify against his brother.
Holy shit, dude. He was ratting out his own family. Fuck, man.
Just wait. I told you, there's a lot of backstabbing, a lot of knives and backs in this episode.
All right.
So his brother James tried to wiggle out of the sentence, saying that he wasn't the one that pulled the trigger, and I'd be more than happy to pay Randy's family $50 a month for restitution.
Okay.
Maybe he needed a reel-to-reel tape.
Yeah, right. Fuck.
I don't have one. Don't worry. There's not gonna. No. I wish I had. If I had thought about it, then there would have been.
Yeah, right. Anyway. Oh, Jesus. All right.
So Randy was then sent to Arkansas to face a murder charge. He had been charged with the murder of a truck driver named Henry Weber. And, Henry Weber lived in Brooksville, Florida. Yeah, just a little Florida tie to this. But I wonder if Randy's wife had run off with a trucker or something. Because he admitted to killing several other truck drivers.
Oh, yeah? I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Or he just didn't like truck drivers.
Oh, no. But he was then sent back after. I mean, he was found guilty, but he was sent back to Arizona to serve his sentence there because they had more on him.
Mm. They had more on him. He's a fucking moron.
More on him. More on him.
More on him. Oh, geez, fuck, I'm an idiot.
So that brings us to the timeline of the infamous prison break.
Yay. It's almost over.
No, it's not.
It better be.
Not. Gare Bear, he had asked his brother Joe for a getaway car, weapons, and a plane to get to Mexico. So,
Dude, he's got a hard on for fucking Mexico, man.
Yeah, I know. It's like crazy. Like, oh, Mexico.
Yeah,
you know what? The thing is, if he had gone to Mexico, he would have probably started the same freaking behavior there. And they don't fuck around in Mexico the way we do here. He'd have been dead.
The cartel would have killed him.
Especially, yeah, I was just going to say that. Once again, get out of my head. But, yeah, he'd wound up fucking with a cartel, and, yeah, his head would have been cut off with a chainsaw, and they would have used it to play soccer with.
Do Mexicans call it soccer, or they call it football, too?
I have no idea. No clue.
I think we're the only people that don't call it football because we have our football.
Yeah. And there's only 2 people on the entire field whose foot actually touches the ball.
That's true.
The punter and the kicker.
Yeah. That's very true. Why they call it football?
I don't care. I love my football.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
But still, it's just like, so we call it, well, he probably asked Joe this in person because his family was always like constantly visiting him in prison. But It's just like, I need a plane, I need a car, and I need weapons. It's like, all right, let me just go down to the Walmart. Let me just.
All right, I'm gonna take a trip down to 40s and 9s. What do you need?
Yeah. I'm gonna go to TG&Y and get it. I think I just showed my age there.
Yeah, you did. It's all good though.
But Joe actually did manage to get a plane. He stole it, but he used it to smuggle drugs to Mexico, and he crashed it.
Well, of course.
Freaking Carl Panzer him before he learned how to sail.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking that too. I was like, dude, it's like Carl with the boat.
But he got arrested and charged for the theft of the plane and for transporting drugs. But he made a deal for a reduced sentence, and somehow he didn't serve very much time at all for this. But his deal was, he ratted out Gary's escape plan.
Fuck.
Gary was put back into maximum security, and Gary passed 2 lie detector tests and managed to get out of it. And he said that Joe had made up the escape plan story, and the warden bought it, so Gare Bear was put back into minimum security.
What the fuck? Oh my god, dude! All right.
He found an inmate that happened to have a pilot's license, and
well, that was lucky.
He's like, pilots are dime a dozen in this episode. I mean, there's parts that I didn't put in, but
but you are now.
Well, I'm just mentioning it. I mean, that
mention away.
There's no shortage of pilots in this episode.
Oh, well, that's lucky.
I mean, with all the pilots that are in the story, that make cameos in the story, they could put together they could put together an entire fleet.
Yeah, they could have their own Air Force.
Yeah, the Cessnas.
Anyhow.
But he went over his escape plan with this inmate, and the inmate wanted no part of the plan, so Gary threatened his family. And so the inmate's like, okay. But as the date...
So better not talk about my mama.
As the date grew closer, the inmate cut holes into the fence and sat outside of it waiting to be arrested. Yeah, he's just like, okay, if I'm in maximum security, you can't get to me, type of thing.
Yeah, okay. I like it.
So, yeah. So he was put back into maximum security, and this is where Darwinism comes into play, if it already hasn't been. But he told the warden about the escape plan. Once again, the warden didn't believe it. Gary didn't. Gary wouldn't do that. It's Care Bear. I mean,
it's Care Bear.
Gary's awesome. Love Gary.
He's such a nice guy.
He's such a nice guy. Yeah, and yeah, this is where I had put in there. I wonder if this warden's last name was Darwin. If you're wondering, episode 66 is where Dick Darwin makes his debut, and also the Half Pint episode, Lester Eubanks. But then a new a new like director, not a warden, but a new director took over, and the inmate wrote this guy a letter telling him of Gary's escape plan. This warden took it seriously, but Gary still talked his way out of it.
Oh, of course.
But Gary was playing it safe, and he moved the date of the plan forward a week in case the director changed his mind. That's smart.
That is smart. I was just going to go there. I'm like, well, that was a good idea.
Yeah. So Gary called his sons. And on July 31st, 1978, his 3 sons came to visit him, as they did regularly, so nothing was out of the ordinary. Now what's coming up next is out of the ordinary.
Well, of course. It would be this story if it wasn't.
Yeah. They went into the visitor's room where Gary Greenwaldt was waiting. His sons brought a large box into the room.
What?
Yeah, his sons brought a large box into the room.
How did they even let that happen?
I know. Well, it's minimum security. They could have just like, it's just Care Bears for Care Bear.
Yeah, we bought that a big screen TV.
Yeah.
But unfortunately in 1978 there's still CRT screen, so it's ginormous.
Yeah, it weighs 600 pounds for a 24-inch television.
Yeah. Anyway. We're showing our age really bad in this one.
But the box had sawed-off shotguns and pistols in it.
Oh,
you knew that. You knew that was coming. You did, didn't you?
No, I thought they were going to smuggle them out in the box.
No.
You said big old box, so I figured it was a box big enough to fit him in so they could carry him out past everybody.
I mean, a freaking, a sawed-off shotgun is about 3 feet long.
No, it isn't.
2.5.
Dude, have you ever seen a gun in real life?
You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the ones that I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking of.
Don't worry about it, bro. It's all good. It is what it is.
As soon as you just asked me that, it's just like, okay, sawed-off shotgun. The stock and the barrel is cut off. It's basically like a large pistol.
Yeah, that's about 1.5 feet long, depending on the brand of gun you're cutting up.
But still, it's a freaking box that you're bringing into the prison.
Full of weapons that nobody searched.
Full of weapons that nobody searched it.
Yep, I got you.
Yeah, so when they got it into the room, everybody gathered around and everything, and they all grabbed a gun. Ricky pointed one at the guard. The guard was just sitting there reading the fucking newspaper, and it took him like a couple seconds before he realized that he was, he looked up and realized that there was a sawed-off shotgun being pointed at his head.
Yeah.
Oh?
Dude, you know what's funny? In the game that I play, you can sneak up on people like that, and they pretty much make that noise.
Oh?
Yeah. Like they're like, well, not like, oh, like not quite like that, but it's a very similar sound. It is just like you sneak up behind them and fucking pop 2 in the back of their head. And they hear you coming like right at the last second. They go, huh? And it's like, pop, pop. Fucking great. I love it.
So
anyway.
all of Gary's sons, Gary and Randy, at this point now they all had guns, and they ordered the guards onto the ground. The guards complied, and then they crammed the guards and every other person that was in the visitation room into a storage closet and locked it.
Okay.
And it would take them hours. I'm jumping forward a little bit here, but it would take them hours to figure out that they could crawl through the ceiling above the tiles to get out.
Okay.
But they could just kick the door down. It's just a storage closet.
Yeah, well,
I seriously doubt the storage closet is going to be made out of the same steel that a prison door would be. This is probably, like hollow freaking thin wood. They probably could have punched.
They're guards of minimum security, man. They're terrified because they got threatened with guns.
Yeah, true. But
no offense to any of you that work minimum security. I'm making a joke. No offense.
Well, these guys, yeah. I'm
not talking about everybody. I'm talking about
the Darwin Prison Force.
The people next door. Anyway.
So, they changed into civilian clothes and they just simply walked out. Remember I said that he learned from trying to scale the wall in a...
That's what I was going to say. What, they didn't take the guards' uniforms and try to climb walls again? Because that worked so well last time.
But it was visitation time, so seeing people walk out in plain clothes wouldn't attract any attention.
As long as they're not trying to climb a wall.
Right. So they're just like, well, you know what? Just climbing the wall didn't work very well for me before. So you know what? We're dressed like civilians now, so let's just get let's just walk out the door. Let's just walk out the door. All right.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So the guards in the tower thought nothing of it because it was just civilians walking out on visitation day.
Yeah.
Brilliant plan. Seriously, that was smart.
That's finally a good one.
That's what he should have done when he had the freaking guard uniform on.
Yeah, he should have just walked out. No, I totally agree with you there. Instead of trying to play that stupid.
Wait till the shifts change and just
walk out the door.
See y'all later. I'm gone.
Just get lost in the crowd and carry on. Yeah. Anyway, not the point.
Gotta go to Cheers.
Yeah.
Here's another example of good planning. They jumped into a car and sped off. Now this entire thing, from start to finish, took 20 minutes.
Okay.
But they had another car. Yeah. So they had another car waiting at the hospital, which they all piled into and then dumped the one that the escape vehicle. They dumped it there and piled into the other one. Left the escape vehicle there at the hospital. That's smart. That's pretty fucking smart.
Yes, I see no faults in this plan yet.
Yeah. So
but I know
they drove.
Gotta go wrong.
Well, it's gonna go right for a little while before it starts going wrong again.
All right.
Unless you count the murder. But
yeah, you shouldn't have if you're running because you just broke out of jail, you shouldn't draw any attention to yourself by killing somebody or something like that.
Well, hold on. Here's the story. But I'm
trying to.
So they drove to Holder, Arizona, about 130 miles away, and they found an abandoned house to stay in for the night, and they discussed a plan to get to Mexico. They needed a pilot. Yeah, they found a pilot, but nobody was. But this pilot's just like this pilot's.
That sounds so sketchy, dude. I don't know about that.
I have to bleach my asshole that day. Sorry.
Fuck you, man. Just fuck you, man. Fuck. Bleach my asshole that day. Jesus Christ. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. It just popped into my head.
Anyway.
I saw a sign at some sort of like.
Did it open up your mind?
No, it didn't. It closed my mind and my asshole.
Dude, stop that shit.
but
nobody, dude, I have to go burn out my mind's eye now because of what you're talking about. You, fuck you.
No, but it said rectum bleaching.
Okay.
Available here. I saw that like yesterday. I was just like, so it's like kind of.
Dude, you know what I picture? You know what I picture is like some old lady wearing them yellow fucking kitchen gloves to just dumping a bottle of Clorox on your butthole. There, that'll be $900, please.
Yeah, right. I don't know what the hell it is. I mean,
I don't ever want to know.
Me either. But it just popped out of my head.
All right, well, don't let that happen again, please.
I was just like, I saw that. I was like, okay, I guess that's a thing.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Anyway,
I wish I had the money to be able to afford that. I wouldn't use it for that.
Wouldn't do it. Yeah, right. I just wish I had the money.
Yeah, but if I had that kind of disposable income to bleach my fucking asshole, yeah, I'd be a lot better off than I am now.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Anyway, enough about that. Please, for the love of God, enough about that.
So the next day, Ricky and Ray went out looking for a grocery store for food, and did they go to
a Piggly Wiggly?
I don't know.
I don't think the Piggly Wiggly's in Arizona.
I don't think so either. I think that's more of a southern thing. Well, but north of Florida, but southern thing. But
yeah.
On the way back, they hit something and 2 tires blew out.
Uh-oh.
By now the escape was on the radio, and the Warden Darwin said that Gary wasn't dangerous.
Oh my God, he wasn't dangerous. Holy, okay, sure.
Oh man.
Sure, Gary's not dangerous, but his sons Ricky Bobby and Walker and Texas Ranger probably are.
There's a lot. Remember how in the there was a lot of J's and the
yes.
Gary. There's a lot of R's in this one.
Yes, I've noticed that too. There's a lot of R's and a lot of things like that start with ST.
Yeah.
That have been tripping you up, dude. I mean, like seriously, that's what gets you when it's like like that one guy's name, like Stanley, or whatever that fucking guy's name was, dude. You like that totally fucked you up. I heard it. And I was like, I got it. Anyway, moving on, please.
So they changed the one tire with the spare that they had, but that wasn't working because they were driving down dirt roads to avoid detection, and driving on driving on a rim down the street that I live on.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I live on the surface of the moon.
Yeah, the road going to his house. If you don't, you need a truck. Don't ever try to go to his house in anything that isn't like 10 inches off the ground. Yeah.
So they decided that Ricky and Ray would stand by the car while the rest of the crew hid behind the bush, hid in some bushes. And if somebody stopped to help, they'd pounce out with their guns drawn and steal the car. They didn't have to wait long for a good Samaritan to come along.
Of course not.
And John and Donna Lyons, they were heading to Las Vegas with their 22-month-old son, Christopher, 16-year-old niece, Terry Jo Tison, no relation. And,
hope not.
and a Chihuahua.
Oh, God. Evil little dogs.
They start talking with Ricky, and when the others came out, they forced him into the back of their car. And so then they drove both cars down to a service road where they wouldn't be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that at that point they put them all into their car, which was like a Lincoln Continental or something like that. And then they moved all of they put them into the car with the busted tire, and then they put all of their things into the Lions' car.
Okay.
Gary then shot the front of their car several times of the Lincoln with a shotgun, just basically disabling the car.
Yeah.
That car wasn't going to move, and the Lions were all begging for their lives and asking to just leave us with some water. Just take our car and go. So they did have water because remember they had just gone to the grocery store, and so Gary, told one of his sons to grab him a jug, and his sons thought it's like, okay, we're just going to leave him with water and everything. Well, Gary just took a big old chug, big old swig off of the jug, and right in front of the Tisons. Dick move. And or not the Tysons, the Lions. The
Tigers and bears, oh my.
Lions and Tysons and
who cares?
Greenwaldt. But it's just like, give us the water. I got water. Gulp, gulp, gulp. Yeah, it's good water. This is high quality H2O. So, oh man, but the Tyson boys, no, they're trying to tell Gary and Randy that they need to just leave them alive. They're not going anywhere. The car's not moving. Just leave them with some water and let's get the fuck out of here.
Right.
But Gary and Randy shot all three of the adults. Well, 16 shots were fired. And as they were leaving, they heard the 2-year-old crying.
Okay.
So Gary went back and shot the baby twice.
All right.
Just, baby's not going to be able to identify anybody.
Well, I mean, that's true.
A 2-year-old, he just wanted to kill.
You said it. You said where I was going to go.
What?
Dude, don't call my kid's 22 months old. No, he's not. He's almost 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop that shit. Dude, that's like, how old's your son? Oh, he's 60 months. That's 5 years. Anyway, sorry. When you said 22 months, that's the first thing that popped into my mind.
Did you say 60 months?
Yeah, 60.
Okay, because it sounded like you said 16.
No.
It's like,
no,
okay.
You know what? And I had a feeling that was going to happen too. No, 60. Bitch, that's 5 years. Your kid is 5 years old, not 60 months.
Yeah. So they drove away, but John was still alive, but he had been playing dead. So he got out of the car, made it a few feet, and then he dropped dead. Terry Joe Tyson.
Oh, he got really good at playing dead, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
I'll edit that part out.
I know. I'm going to hell. It's fine. I'm okay with it. It's all right. I got a bus waiting for me.
Terry Jo was still alive too, but she made it almost a quarter of a mile before she collapsed and died. And she had the Chihuahua with her. And
But they didn't shoot the Chihuahua too? Fuck.
They didn't shoot the Chihuahua.
You shoot a nearly 2-year-old kid, but you only shoot a Chihuahua? What the fuck is wrong with you?
All right. But I don't really think of Chihuahuas as like particularly loyal dogs. I barely consider
dogs.
I barely consider them dogs in the first place.
They're barely dogs, dude. I have cats
that are more dogs than Chihuahuas.
My smallest cat is bigger than any fucking Chihuahua I've ever seen in my life.
But this dog stayed with Terry even after Terry died. This Chihuahua.
Well, he was waiting to make sure she was really dead so he could eat her later.
He's not a cat.
No, dogs do it too.
No, not this Chihuahua.
Oh, well, he was a good dog then.
But ultimately, it took them several days to find him out in the middle of the fucking desert, and the dog died of exposure.
What the? Are you making this shit up, dude?
No!
This sounds like another one that you're making up.
Even back then, they had the forensics to be able to determine the time of death, and they did it on the dog. The dog died. The dog died like several days after the rest of them died.
All right.
So, roadblocks were set up all over Arizona, the southern part of Arizona, believing that they were headed to Mexico, but they went north instead.
Oh.
So there were no rope. Once again, smart plan.
Yeah.
I fucking hate this guy, by the way. But they drove away. John was damn it, my freaking notes flipped forward again like they did last episode.
Okay.
So they headed to Flagstaff, and an inmate there in Casa Grande who Randy had been, having
sex with?
No, but Randy had been chatting up this inmate's mother on Prison Tender. They had a little thing going, and he figured that she would help them out because, Prison Tender relationship. They hadn't actually met yet, but she had swiped right on Prison Tender.
Of course.
And now she was older than Randy, so it was kind of like a cougar / mom relationship.
I figured. Honestly, I thought that was where this was going. Don't ask me how. I for some reason. Anyway, whatever.
So she left with Randy, and she left Randy and the rest of them with her 2 grandkids.
Because that's safe.
Yeah.
What, like after they broke out of prison?
Well, yeah. No, I'm going in order of the story at this point.
I don't know. Sometimes you flash back and
No. They're in Flagstaff right now because they're going north instead of going south.
Yeah,
everything to throw the police off.
So this lady knew that these guys were in prison or whatever and broke out.
Yeah. And she probably didn't know that Gary had killed a 2-year-old. But you're not going to tell that part.
Yeah, all right.
But still,
being on the outside looking in, and we know what we know. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a very good idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
But if she had known that Gary had killed a 2-year-old, I doubt that she would have. No, she probably would have turned him in. I would think. Anyway.
I would hope.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that had to have been it. As far as she was concerned, they had just broken out. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And she had that Prison Tender flame.
Yeah, it happens.
Tender's gonna sue us.
Oh shit. Along with everybody else. We're fucked. It's been nice knowing you, brother.
So the police figured out who this inmate was, and he told them where his mother lived in Flagstaff. And they went there and they knocked, but nobody answered, so they left.
Oh, okay.
But what they didn't know is Randy was sitting on the other side of the door, just not answering the door, and he had a gun. Never mind. I was about to make a Godfather reference, but you haven't seen those movies.
Dude, we have the internet. You don't have to watch a movie to know what it's about and know everything cool that happened.
No, there's this scene where they're stealing a fucking like a super expensive Oriental rug out of somebody's place and everything, and they come back and everything, and one of them's just standing there right next to the door with a gun. It's like if they cross that threshold, bam.
Yeah.
So that's what it reminded me of. It is that scene in. I think that scene was in Godfather 2.
Okay.
But, yeah, my co-host has never seen any of the Godfather movies.
Yeah. I haven't. So?
I don't know. But Randy, what had happened is this woman had taken Randy.
What had happened was
no, it just that thing when my notes skipped like that, I left something out accidentally.
Oh.
So what had happened was Randy and this woman, she had left Gary with the grandkids, but she had taken Randy into town to buy a truck for him because they wanted a truck. They wanted a truck. So, I mean,
were they going to start smuggling tractors to Mexico again in this truck?
No, they just needed a truck. They're like doing like back roads and stuff like that.
Oh
So
yeah.
they want a truck. Truck's going to handle that a lot better than a car.
Yeah.
And the Lion's car, that was a freaking Mazda something or other. But
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I totally got it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be funny.
so they went in.
Apparently, I'm failing.
to buy a truck, and this woman actually, like borrowed $2,000 from, somebody. I don't know if it was from like a bank or just some random person or whatever. Just
Somebody that you used to know.
Yeah, they bought him a beater, basically. Basically.
Is this your basic beater right here? It's just a, it's got 4 wheels, steering wheel, get you where you want to go.
Well, a $2,000 beater back then is a better beater than a beater today is for $2,000. A beater today is barely going to run for $2,000.
Yeah.
Inflation.
Yeah.
So Randy,
anyway, never mind. Sorry, go ahead.
Randy took returned with the truck, and they took off again after ditching the car in the woods. And yes, Flagstaff, Arizona has woods.
A lot of places have woods.
Well, Arizona, you think desert and everything, but there are parts in Arizona that have woods.
Yeah.
I've been to Flagstaff.
Of course you have.
So the police finally got the inmate's mother at home, and she admitted to helping them. And then I'm sure that the Lance family had also been found, so I'm pretty sure that they told her who they had left, her grandkids.
She left her grandkids with.
So,
I bet that was fun.
Yeah. So the police were all around Flagstaff searching and everything, but they were long gone. And I don't know. I got a chuckle out of this next line.
Okay.
The next sighting of them would be in Roswell, New Mexico. I don't know why I found that funny, but sighting Roswell.
Yeah, no, I got it. Oh, shit, yeah. Were they riding in a flying saucer?
No, they were riding in a beater truck.
Did they wrap it in tinfoil to make it look like a flying saucer? No, it's like.
No, but they did. But the Mazda, I left this part out. The Mazda, it was orange.
Okay.
And they had spray painted it gray with like Kansas spray paint. Because that's not going to.
I could no longer be a part of this.
I'm not even kidding. I had left that part out, but it just fit. As soon as you talked about the tinfoil thing, I was like, okay, might as well throw it in there.
So I got this orange Mazda, and they fucking primer grade it.
Yeah.
And what? I mean, did they? Anyway, all right, cool. Because I mean, even back then, Mazda doesn't have primer gray cars, so that must be them.
And in spray paint, you're not going to do that evenly with a can of spray paint.
No, not unless you're very, very careful.
Yeah, but I'm sure time.
And I'm assuming that they weren't. I'm assuming.
Yeah, time was not on their side.
Orange paint bleeding through in places, like, dude, that's just the dust coat, man. I haven't finished working the body yet. It's fine.
Yeah, it's good. So why is it when I run my finger across the gray comes off on my finger?
I never said I was a professional, man.
It's like freaking the Toolbox Killers with a fucking Polaroid camera.
Yeah, right.
When the media got word of this story, reporters were showing up all over the place trying to get to Dorothy. And one reporter talked her into, like basically kissed her ass and warmed up to her.
Mm-hmm.
She got her to do an interview, and she was making Dorothy think that she was on her side. And Dorothy started talking about how Gary was a good man and he was being set up.
Of course.
Yeah, he had never committed a crime before in his life and all that stuff. And she got the shock of her life the next day when the newspaper came out saying that she was delusional.
Well, sometimes people need to hear that shit.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Gary's brother Joe was under surveillance, and he got a phone call from Gary asking for a plane again. Like, hey, you got a plane?
I left it in my pants.
Well, I crashed. I crashed the last one. Yeah. So I don't know why he thinks that his brother can just shit a plane. I wish I could shit a plane. If I could shit a plane, I'd be a very wealthy man.
I know, right? I mean, like, planes. Never mind. I was going to go somewhere. I'm sure y'all could figure out what I was going to say.
And if Joe came through, Gary would forgive him for ratting him out. So Joe agreed to meet them at an airstrip in Clovis, New Mexico. But Joe's phone was tapped.
Of course it was.
So the police actually flew Joe to Clovis, and they got a decoy plane out there, and then the police hid, and they waited for hours and hours and hours, but no Gary. Unbeknownst to the police, the Gare Bear gang had gotten there hours before and watched them set up the trap.
Okay.
The trap was a trap.
It's a trap. Anyway, wow, that's all right. That's
once again brilliant.
Yeah, he's on a roll now.
But the trap was a trap for Joe. Yeah, I gotta think that it was just like, okay, I gotta see where his loyalties lie. He probably knew that Joe was being monitored, so he sets this whole thing up and everything. It's like, okay, let's see what Joe does. If the police are there, so more than likely what happened is like, after the phone call came, Joe was probably like, hey, this is what he wants. Yeah. I don't think they necessarily had his phone tapped initially, or maybe they did. Maybe he was he was just like, we'll do this little ruse just to see if he's been infiltrated.
Yeah.
But either way, it worked.
Right? Yeah, it did. That was good thinking.
So they took off to Southport, Colorado, and the beater truck that they brought down was breaking down.
The beater was beaten.
The beater was beaten.
Anyway.
But I mean, it was still running, but it wasn't all that. But they
black smoke pouring out the tailpipe, lifters tapping all over the place.
Prius repellent.
Parts falling off of the sumbitch as you're going down around there. We've all had a car like that.
Yeah. So they were looking for a van to steal, and they spotted one in Durango, right? And it was right in front of them in the road. And in the broad daylight, they carjacked it, like right there in the broad daylight. James and Margene Judge, they were on their honeymoon. And, they literally just jumped out of the truck with guns and they're like, hey, get in the back, we're taking this thing. Like in the middle of the fucking day. I mean,
yeah.
And the thing is there's not, these people aren't like amped up on drugs. Yeah, the some of the brazen shit that they do would be something that you would expect to hear coming from like a meth head or something like that.
Yeah.
Drugs never come up in the story other than the fact that Gare Bear was running them while he was in prison.
Gare Bear, that still gets me. Anyway, yeah, okay, so they're drug-free and they're being assholes. All right.
They're just fucking crazy. So,
hey, it happens.
So Gary drove the van and one of his sons was there holding a gun on James and Margene in the van. And it's just like, this happened in broad daylight. That just blows my mind. Like, nobody tried to help. Nobody called the police. Nothing.
Nada.
But, so they, Gary drove the van. One of his sons was in the van with him with a gun on, James and Margene. And, the others followed in the truck, and, they found an old service road and everything. And once they stopped, Gary made, James and Margene walk away in opposite directions.
Uh-oh.
That's never good. After they had been gone for a minute or two, Gary followed Margene and Randy followed James. And once they were far enough away, both of them were shot in the back of the head. And Gary's sons once again were horrified. Well, we didn't have to do this.
Yeah,
but,
no, you didn't. But anyway.
But you know what? These fucking chuckleheads, his sons, they're just as culpable as Gary and Randy are.
Oh yeah. Accessory.
Yep. So they drove to Cortez, Colorado, and they dropped the truck off at a mechanic. And the reason behind that was because if it's at a mechanic, it's like, oh, we'll be back for it eventually. We got to go out of state for a little while. It's better than dumping it on the side of the road because it's not going to get found.
Yeah.
Once again, it's very smart.
Yep.
So they went off into the woods to sleep in the van, but Gary woke them up in the middle of the night telling them that they're going to go back to Arizona because he thought the time was run to make a run for the border.
Did they have Taco Bell back then?
I was waiting for that. I set you up for that. I was about to say something to Taco Bell that I would cut out later, but no, right. you got it. You got it.
I did.
You came through.
it took me a minute because I'm a little tired. My brain, my synapses aren't firing quite as.
No.
Anyway.
Good job. But they drove all the way back to Casa Grande. Why, I don't know. Why go back there where everybody knows you? That's not smart. But the thing is, the van was spotted multiple times, but nobody knew that they were in it. They still thought that they were in the Lions Mazda.
Okay.
The orange and gray car. Well, the gray and orange car.
They thought they were an old primer gray.
Yeah. That night, somebody tried to break into the armory, and the police thought that it was Gary. And upon hearing this, one sergeant got on the radio and said, "The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town."
No, he didn't.
Or maybe he didn't.
I don't think so. But anyway.
But maybe he did. I don't know. But the roadblocks were set up, but the robbery turned out to be a false alarm. And some of the roadblocks were taken down, like the ones on the main roads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the ones along the back roads were still, because it's like, okay, well, what if? And at first, I was thinking, it's just like, okay, well, maybe Gary sent one of his sons in to trip the alarm, but why do that if they don't even know that you're there? Yeah. That wouldn't be smart. So it's just like, I dismissed that. It's like, no, it
calling with you idea.
It was probably like an alarm went off or something like that. And since everybody knew that they were, that they were out and well, maybe they came back. It just so happened that they were back at that point. So
that's stretching the rules of coincidence quite a bit, but okay.
It is, but still, that's what
thin.
happened.
That's fucking thin. But anyway.
So it's back roads and everything. It's late at night. Nobody's coming through. So the officers that were working those roadblocks, they're just sitting there talking and everything. But then all of a sudden they saw headlights coming. And it was the van. One of Gary's sons was driving and he floored it. And as they sped by, Gary and Randy opened fire on the police. And the police got into their cars and took off after them, radioing for backup. officers were waiting further down the road, and they opened fire when the van came through.
All right.
The van slowed down like gradually, like somebody had taken their foot off the gas and just let it coast. And then the van rolled off of the road and into a ditch. Somebody got shot.
Somebody took one in the brain pan.
Yeah. We'll find out who shortly.
Right.
Shortly later.
Shortly later? Please, not too much. Please make it very shortly later.
We're almost done.
Because it's almost midnight, dude, and I have to work in the morning.
We're almost done.
All right. Well, hurry up.
Got like a page and a half to go. So, so the Gary, Randy, and everybody who wasn't shot in the head, like hauled ass out of they jumped out of the van running in opposite directions.
They can't catch us all.
But like two of Gary's sons, like kind of like ran back up on Randy, and they were shooting at none of them were shot, but they just kind of dropped to the ground and just waited. They were done. Like, enough of this shit,
right?
So when the police, when the helicopter came on and put a spotlight on the area, they saw, they had seen Randy, but they didn't see the other two sons like kind of hook up with him. Mm. But it showed that like Randy and the two sons were just lying like side by side with their hands over their head.
Okay.
Yeah, just lying face, like face down with their hands over their head, just like, all right, we're done. Come get us. And I'm surprised that Randy didn't go out with a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
But, the other two, the two sons that survived, yeah, I can see them. It's just like, I'm not even supposed to be here today. Yeah.
Damn it, Paul, they killed Walker. Now I'm just Texas Ranger. What the hell am I going to do?
So Donald Tison, and he really hasn't been, he's the only one whose name doesn't start with an R.
Right.
He had been shot in the head and he died. And when the other two, Ricky and Ray, were, when they arrested him, they had like brain matter on their body because Donald had gotten shot, clean in the head.
That happens.
So, but Gary's managed to stay in the wind for like another week and a half.
Okay.
But he didn't kill anybody else.
Okay, yeah.
Just take a guess. What happened to Gary? What happened to Gary Bear?
Jesus. It's got to be something stupid, but I don't know.
It's something glorious and stupid.
Glorious and stupid. All right. What, he got caught trying to break into jail?
Nope. He's no Panzram.
Oh, that was somebody else. Never mind. I don't know.
A man who owned a fertilizer plant noticed a really, really bad smell in the wind. And Gary, he just like, okay, what the hell is that? So he goes looking. Gary is in his property, it's like on the property, and he's dead and decomposing in bushes. And keep in mind, this is freaking August in the middle of Arizona. So he had died of dehydration. And
well, isn't that irony coming back to bite you in the ass?
No shit. I mean, he must have been ripe for a fertilizer plant owner to smell something bad in the air.
Oh, I know. I was waiting for you to finish before I said something because, like, yeah, all right.
I mean, there's only one thing that smells worse than a paper mill, and that's a fertilizer plant in the middle of fucking Arizona in August.
I would imagine.
But he smelled there's something different in the air.
Yeah, so there's a different stink in the air today. Dude, this isn't shit that I'm smelling. This is That's a dead
This is
body.
a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's a dead body.
No, this isn't shit. This is a piece of shit.
Yeah, you know, I got you. Anyway.
But he didn't know. But the fact, but what had happened is he had literally died about 50 feet away from an oasis.
Well, good for him.
With
Could
water.
have happened to a nicer fucking guy.
Yeah. That's poetic justice.
Yes, that is karma coming around to bite you in the
It's
ass.
just like right
Go.
fucking there. Like literally from where I'm sitting to my car. You know, and it's just, let's put it just,
Yeah.
and I hope he's in hell locked in a room with 100 hungry and horny Chihuahua devil dogs.
Fuck yeah. Well, I would have been able to answer that question, but you made me run late. I missed my bus. I missed my bus. So
I'm sorry.
It's all right. Just hurry up. Let's get it done.
All of the remaining men, Randy, Ricky, and Ray, were sentenced to death. Ricky and Ray's sentences were changed to life without parole, considering they were both under 21, and they, you know, when it happened, and they hadn't actually killed anybody, so they went to life without parole.
Well, all right.
January 23rd, 1997, Randy was executed by lethal injection. In 1979, Joe and Dorothy Tison were both arrested and charged with conspiracy. And both were given 4 years. Joe, yeah, they both got out a little bit early, but when Joe got out, he was arrested yet again for transporting illegal aliens into the United States. And I just thought, you know, because time constraints and everything, I just stopped there. I don't care what happened to Joe. I'm guessing that he probably was, you know, like after everything, he probably wound up with life. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But this story wasn't about Joe.
Yeah, it wasn't about
So,
dude, I seriously, I mean, like, dude, you could have held on for like 2 more minutes. You'd have been there.
yeah, just the water. It's like right
Yeah.
there. Like right there. And
You just couldn't make it.
I mean,
well, you know what? Fucking good. That guy's a fucking cunt, dude. He deserved it.
yeah, I mean,
Karma came and bit him in the ass for fucking chugging that water in front of them people and being a cunt. So, you know.
yeah, exactly.
There it is.
And that's
Yeah.
this
That's
is one
exactly
of the most,
what it was, dude.
this is one of the most satisfying endings to a story that we've covered that we've had. I mean, it's up there with like Richard Ramirez. Yeah, and I can't think of any others that are Richard Ramirez is like very satisfying, and this is very satisfying.
Yes,
and
that was good.
Especially because he chugged the water in front of the people that he was about to kill, and then like, you know, and then he died.
And then he dies within sight of water. Like,
yeah.
That's just
that's beautiful.
Perfect. That's fucking perfect. Couldn't ask for anything more from. Anyway,
so well, what a crazy story, man! And I'm glad that you know I found one that everybody hasn't covered. You know?
Oh yeah, no, that was good.
And we made a long episode out of it too.
Yeah, no shit. Anywho.
So, I do have some ado heading out of this.
Oh, okay.
Remember our old buddy T Marie 13, the one that said that we were boring and monotone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember her very well.
We got another review on Apple.
Oh.
What do you think? 1 star, 3 star, 5 star? What do you think?
I don't know. Was it Tina Marie again? It was probably fucking 1 star.
Wasn't T Marie.
Okay, they're not monotone anymore, but they still suck. I don't know.
5 star.
5 stars. Oh my god.
5 star. We got a 5-star review.
Somebody had to be drunk and just pushing buttons.
Nah, I'm gonna read it to you right now. It says, "Love listening to these two. You can tell what good friends they are. The cases are really well researched." And that comes to us from MRJ1079 from the United States.
Okay.
So thank you, MRJ0179. Cheers to you.
Yes, thank you. See, it's not hard.
But I don't know. I like the part. Yeah, I like the part where it said you could tell how good a friend. I've known this guy longer. I've known this guy longer than most of our friends or most of our listeners have been alive.
Yes, yes, we have the luxury of being old.
Yeah, but we're fun. So
obnoxious,
gritty and obnoxious, but
not monotone.
But not monotone.
Not
T. Marie.
And I don't think we're all that boring, but I don't know.
No, we're not boring at all.
I mean, I can be boring, but that's just who I am.
That's why I'm the host and you're not.
Exactly. Anywho, I wonder how many times I've said that today. I lost count.
Thanks a hell of a lot for listening, everybody. We really appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
God, we had a great. I loved covering this story. Stories like this, where it's just the crazy is just off the chain and everything. Those are my favorite ones to cover.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Especially when there's stupidity involved, and it's like the way that this one ended. He died like with an arm's reach of water. He died of dehydration with an arm's length of water. That's just beautiful.
Perfect. Yes. Oh my God, you couldn't have asked for a happier ending to that.
Yeah. So
anyway, there it is again.
But we appreciate you listening to us, and damn, if you if you like us, just hook us up with a 5-star,
or a 4-star. It doesn't have to be
or 4-star. Hell, if you hate us, hook us up with a 1-star because that helps us too.
Yeah.
Damn it, I shouldn't have said that because now the people that hate us aren't going to leave any stars.
Yeah, I know, right? You just fucked the algorithm for us.
Damn it. Oh well. But
anyway, God damn it, I did it again. Fuck. Dude, I know I had to say anyway or anywho at least 50 times during this episode.
It was a fun episode though.
It was, I know.
But yeah, seriously, if you like us, tell a friend. If you hate us, tell an enemy. And we'll see until next week. Later.
Cheers, everybody.